Open old Satan took to running when he saw me swinging rope. And he was just about as cagey as any maverick steer. He was running like a whirlwind, then he'd duck and disappear. I thought I was going to lose him, but my saddle horse was wise, and he put me right on top of that imp. And much to my surprise, I roped him like a ball and calf, then looped my dallies tight. Jumped off my horse with piggin' string and readied for the fight. Well, my saddle horse was working just the way that he'd been taught, stretching tight that imp from hell as round and round we fought. Then finally I looped a piggin' string around his horn, then sucked it to his feet and tied around to both his arms and dallied it nice and neat. When the dust had settled, I bent down and whispered in his ear. I said, "I heard them things you had to say, and well, now you listen here. When you was talking about the cowboy, them things you said was true. We do hold on to values and won't be selling out to you, because we already have the things that might..."
All alone in romance, you told me long ago, to the prom with me you go. Now you changed your mind, it seems. Someone else will own my dreams. Oh, I know sport coach and the big carnation, and in a blue I'm all dressed up for the dance. Here's how you do it. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. Like we didn't even try to. Being perfectly dressed is true. Lends its serenity through and through. So there I am trying to pick out my shirt, you know, and I'm going through the colors. I mean, well, purple's too hip, pink's too preppy, yellow's too nautical, orange is too jockey, and green is just too calm. Blue's too ordinary, brown's too earthy, red's too flashy, turquoise is too Santa Fe, and mauve, how could anybody be so completely wrong?
The Stetson that he wore is still hanging by the door, and his dog lies in wait on the porch. Cold, blustery air moves that old rocking chair, makes me think he's there rocking back and forth. It's this time of the year that reminds me every summer leaf must fall. I look to the hills from this home that we built. The birds take the air and the fox seeks its time round. Took him back to the home corral. I curried him up and I watered him down. Got a hold of his hoof and cleaned it out. He wanted to thank me, he made that clear. I tried to explain as he nibbled my ear and said, that's what a pal would do. Help you out. I'm in the wrong key. No wonder it's felt weird. I was going to run out of neck on the guitar all of a sudden. I went, oh, this isn't going to work. Okay. That's what a pal would do. Help you out when you're gone with the wind. Tell them you love them, you're thinking of them, 'cause that's what a pal would do. Have you out when you're feeling blue. Do the same for you, it's true, 'cause that's what a pal would do. Do the same for me, it's true, 'cause that's what a pal would do. My Palomino got a rock in his shoe. Mountain. I said, really? He said, yeah, but it looks like it's pretty far away, so I'm not worried. I'm going to go into town and I'll give you a call when I get back. I said, okay. The next phone call I get is from a frantic neighbor wanting to know desperately if we're home, because they were going to go get our horses if we weren't, because the fire had now crested the mountain and was racing down the side of Granite Mountain straight for our house. Of course, I was in a panic. I'm in Colorado. I can't get a hold of my husband. The phone lines are all jammed up. And finally, I get a call from him, and he says, don't even talk to me except to tell me where your guitars are. So he was desperately trying to get all of our critters out and whatever he could grab. He had an hour to get everything he could grab out of our house and our critters safe. And while he's loading the horse trailer up, the big tanker planes were flying over our house with the tops of the trees brushing the bottom of the tankers as they were dumping slurry on the house, all around it, and my husband and all the animals all got hit with this slurry. Well, thank goodness, between the firefighters, the slurry, and the hotshot crew that cut a huge big swath behind our house, they saved not only our house, but our entire neighborhood. And we were so grateful to them. And we got back in, just they still hadn't officially let us in, but we got to go back in real quick to get some stuff, because I was heading out, I got home and had to leave for Texas. And we got to meet a whole bunch of those firefighters that had helped save our house. And that was such a pleasure to shake all of their hands. And we went away, and I told my husband, except for about 3 or 4 of them, they were kind of in charge, they looked like babies. They were so young. I could not believe it. So I went to Texas, and I'm on tour in Texas, and we have our daily phone calls about 10 days later, and I'm talking to my husband, and he kind of seems down, and I go, honey, is everything okay? You seem kind of bummed out. And he goes, I said, we're talking here, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to tell you something. And I said, what? And he goes, you know those kids we met on the porch at our house? And I said, yeah. And he said, they all just perished in the Yarnell fire. It was the Granite Mountain hotshots that we had met on our porch, and they all had just died. And of course, I get emotional about it. Still, you're just kids. And I think we forget that these firefighters, we take for granted the work they do. They are literally putting their lives on the line every time they go out to try to save our national forests and save our properties. And so I added an extra bridge in just to pay honor to them, and just the honor to firefighters in general who put their life on the line. And so I'm going to dedicate this to the Granite Mountain Hotshots. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll have another show at 6 o'clock right back here, and I hope to see you back again. So here's Granite Mountain. It rises up from the valley floor, covered with rocks and so much more, lurk between the junipers and boulders. Mountain lion, prickly pear, there's danger, beware, and don't forget to look back over your shoulder. Bobcat, snake, and javelina, even if you haven't seen one, they're like whiskers in the shadows. The beauty, it will mesmerize, but don't forget those wary eyes, always creeping there in the hollows. made-up stories. If you listen with your spirit pounding feet, you'll almost hear it now forevermore. Heart of her glories. Abandoned cabin in the saddle, someone there once tried to straddle life between the old and the new ways. Some say golden cattle drew them, all we know the mountain threw him off. Nothing left but the wild strays. Red mountain, oh the silhouette we know so well.
Feel content with me. Yes, I was born that way. And my voice is still, please plant this heart of mine underneath all of you. When it's quiet, I go on the trail.
And the horses get excited as the cowboys and the cowgirls grab their horn and put their boot up in the tread. We've got our gloves on, the bridles grab the reins, cinch the saddles at the creaks as we move about ahead. And when we're out on the trail and we breathe the mountain air, we're caught among the cedars and the sage. We hear the hooves step along as we sing a western song. Oh, there's nothing like a saddle serenade. We ride up high where the deer browse with meadows near the sky, and water runs beside us.
I spent last night in the arms of a girl from Louisiana. Though I'm out on the highway, my thoughts are still with her. Such a strange situation of a woman and a child. Such a strange situation, stopping every 100 miles, calling Baton Rouge. A replay of last night's events runs through my mind, except for a scene or two erased by sweet red wine. I see a truck stop sign ahead, so I change lanes.